It's not your white hair. It's the champ. Big up the sporting icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Hi, my name is Joseph Parker, WBA champion of the world, and you're watching Sporting Icons.
I walk this earth like a god and step right over you.
Welcome back, Sporting Icons. Like the video, drop a comment, and of course subscribe. You remember Charles Martin, right? He's a guy who had the IBF title. He beat Glasgow after Tyson Fury got stripped of it, like pretty much straight away. Then he went to Anthony Joshua. He called out Anthony Joshua, saying that, Joshua is a hype job. He ain't nothing, and I walk this earth like a god. So former IBF World Heavyweight Champion Charles Martin has said that he wants to face Joshua again in a rematch, and he's now being trained by Sugar Hill. He's the nephew of the late great Manny Stewart. Manny Stewart, of course, trained the likes of Lennox Lewis, Vitali Klitschko, many others, but he also trains Adonis Stevenson as well. Now, that's a pretty good trainer for sure, but I don't think it doesn't matter to me who is training Charles Martin. First of all, I don't believe you're ever going to get a chance to fight Joshua again. But second of all, you embarrassed yourself. You come over and you sat down. And his manager says that anybody who knows anything about boxing knows that Charles Martin can beat anybody on his day. And his next fight will be a top 15 opponent. And of course, he'll be right back in the mix for the world title hunt. Now, since the Joshua loss, he fought Brian Poley, and he beat him in 2 rounds, and then beat Mike Marone, knocked him out in the first round. All under-profile fights, if you like. They were on undercards during the week kind of time, so they weren't even weekend fights as far as I was aware. But I don't know, I mean, on what planet is Charles Martin ever going to get back there? I mean, okay, so he beat Glasgow, alright. I mean, Glasgow was half decent. And of course, the whole hype in America at the time was Charles Martin, because he's a big southpaw, is going to beat Joshua, because Joshua is a hype job. And to be fair to Charles Martin, he did hype that fight up quite well. That was up until Joshua cracked him in the second round. He went down, and he just sat on his arse. In fact, did he get dropped twice in that fight as well? But he just sat there, looking, smiling, like, yeah, so you've paid me a few million, and now I'm going to sit here, and you're going to pay me. And that's exactly what Eddie Hearn did. He paid him. So Anthony Joshua became the IBF champion because of this guy. And like I said, previous to this, a lot of people thought that Charles Martin was going to wipe the floor with Joshua. He was a bit of an unknown commodity, but come with quite big hype from America. Like I said, big southpaw, undefeated, all this kind of jazz. But looked awful, absolutely awful. And even his own countrymen have been looking at Charles Martin saying, what the hell was that? You went to England to lay down. You have embarrassed us. And he went on like a bit of a hiatus, if you like, since that loss. I mean, he took a good year off, and during that time he's been smoking weed and getting high, and didn't he try to do some kind of rap career as well? Did I hear that right? Not entirely sure. But either way, he's been making a real mess of his life, and for his manager to say it's not about the money, really? Well, what's it for then? What, for you to come over and sit down again? You ain't beating Joshua. In fact, you ain't going to beat anybody based on that performance. That was awful. You embarrassed yourself. You embarrassed your countrymen. Your countrymen are right what they say about you. A lot of people kind of bought into the hype of Charles Martin as well at the time. Now, of course, now he's looked on as a bum. I mean, I don't believe he's bum level, but he's certainly not top 15 in the world. He's definitely not that. Because who comes over and just sits on their arse? He wasn't even hit that fucking hard. I mean, it did drop a bit funny when he kind of like landed on his arm. I remember that. But either way, you can still get up. I mean, it's like he just sat there, waited for the referee to count to 8, then decided to get up, and then like open up his arms like, well, why did you stop it? Because he was on the bloody ground for 12 seconds, you moron. Absolutely unbelievable. Charles Martin versus Anthony Joshua, the rematch. How's that going to sell? And if Eddie Hearn only wants Joshua in high-profile fights now, I can assure you Charles Martin will not be the one. Unless somehow he miraculously gets into a mandatory position, and then Joshua has no choice but to fight him again. I can't see it happening. I really can't. That was one of Joshua's easiest pay nights of ever. And he made pretty good money. Not as much as Charles Martin made. But I think Charles Martin, didn't he make about $5 or $6 million for that fight? Well, whatever it was, he sold his strap. And what's he done with it? He's been living the high life. Literally, the high life. I think he's got a few screws missing. I think he's been running around. Hasn't he been coming out with some outrageous stuff as well? I mean, I've only been hearing whispers about all this, so I don't want to comment too much, just in case I'm wrong. I don't want to give you guys any kind of non-factual stuff, but I definitely heard that he's been taking some drugs. He's been shouting obscenities at people. Wasn't he in trouble with the law as well? Either way, he went off the rails for a good year or so before he come back, and 2 under-profile fights on even people's undercards that we don't really know, or I don't remember it anyway. But to say he wants Anthony Joshua rematch, don't take the piss, mate. You had your chance and you blew it and you ruined your career. For me, it doesn't matter what you do now. You could get in there with Deontay Wilder, knock out Wilder, and you'll still be called that guy who sat on his ass and give up his belt. So anyway, that's the news. Charles Martin wants a rematch with Joshua. Let me know your thoughts. Drop a comment, like the video, subscribe.
Charles, there's a lot of hype around this man. Is it justified?
You asking me if I think the hype is real? Why not? It's gonna be a good fight.
Who that? Who that? Who that? Who that? Hey, who that? Who that?
Sounds like we got 2 bulls in a pen.
Anybody that's in front of me gotta fight my struggle.
Someone's always gotta go.
Talk is cheap. We let these back it up.
I walk this earth like a god. I'm gonna step right over you.
That's champ talk. I like that.
I'm gonna knock him out.
Cold world.